Hello, everyone. Quick disclaimer before you continue watching this video. I am not the biggest football fan, but I do enjoy FIFA World Cup, and I'm also a US MNT fan. So the picks could potentially be biased, so please do keep that in mind. This prediction is only for fun. Do not take it seriously. I'm just doing this for fun because why not? So, mixed concepts here. And based on the title, yes, I am going to predict the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So let's start right now in the initial group stage. So Group A. Group A is actually pretty tough to predict because all four teams seem kind of strong in their own ways. There's not one which is clearly better than the rest or worse than the rest. But Mexico is a co-host, and all the games are in Mexico. So while they will have the host advantage, something just tells me that they're not going to end in first position. I'm sorry, but I genuinely don't think that they're going to win the group. I think they'll come in second. And that means, to me, either South Africa, South Korea, or Czechia, or Czech Republic, should end in at the top of the group. But it's really difficult. I think, though, that South Korea are going to win Group A. And then Mexico come in at runners up. And now for the third spot, this is a bit tough between South Africa and Czechia because Czech Republic came through the UEFA playoffs path, whereas South Africa they won their group that included Nigeria, I think, in African qualifiers. So it's gonna be a bit tricky to choose between the two, but I think at the end, I think Czech Republic take three, and South Africa they will end in the bottom of the group. Okay, Group B. Group B is also kind of hard to predict because none of the teams are like the favorites, but they're still pretty talented. I think the same thing with Canada. They are a co-host, but I don't see them winning their group either. I think the team that will win the group will be Switzerland. However, I think because Canada are co-host, I think they'll end in second position. And now to decide the third position between Bosnia and Herzegovina or Qatar. This is tricky as well. I think at the end it will be Bosnia to take third spot, and Qatar will have another bottom of the group finish like 2022. Group C is interesting. Now, for once, Brazil, a big team, is in the group, so they should end in number one. But Morocco will also give them a really tough challenge. Yeah, to me, Brazil or Morocco will definitely be one or two. I don't know who to select. I think, though, I'm just going to choose Brazil as number one and Morocco as number two. And between Scotland and Haiti, Haiti did qualify over Costa Rica in CONCACAF qualifiers, so they are no slouch. But I think Scotland have more experienced players to me. As I said, I don't know much about every team. And I think Haiti will end at the bottom of the group. And now Group D. This is where there's going to be quite a bit of rage if anyone's watching this in the comments because, as I said, I am a US MNT fan and some of the picks may be biased. But I hope it happens for real as well. But to me, USA will top the group. Okay, yeah, I think USA will top the group just for my sake, please. Okay, in second position, I think it'll be Turkey too, and as the runner-up, they are pretty talented, and I just think just because it's USA at number one, Turkey will be number two. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Turkey end on top of the group because they have a lot of talent. I'm just hoping that the USA end in top at the top because I'm a US MNT fan. Okay, and then the third team, is it going to be Paraguay or Australia? That's tricky. I know Paraguay had a crazy comeback in CONMEBOL qualifiers, but I just think Australia have more recent experience in FIFA World Cup, so I believe they're going to end in third, and Paraguay are going to end at the bottom of Group D. It's a bit rough. Even Group D, very tough to predict, to be quite honest with you. Now, coming to Group E. Well, it's between Germany, Curacao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. Germany should be favorites to win this group, but considering the last two performances in the FIFA World Cup, they didn't even end in the top two of the group. So, Germany, are they going to be cursed again? I don't think so. I think they will finally get into the round of 32. They'll get into the knockout rounds. But for some reason, I don't think they're going to end in first position. Yes, I think Germany will have a surprise loss, but it's not going to be against Curacao. Don't worry, it won't be against Curacao. But I do think that Ecuador is going to beat Germany. Yes, that's why they'll be number one in the group. Germany should take second spot, no problem. And then Cote d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast, they will end in third position. And Curacao, you made the World Cup, fantastic. They could surprise people, why not? But I just think they're gonna end at the bottom of the group. I think Ivory Coast will be third. Yeah. Group F. Well, I mean, based on the positioning of the teams, I might just want to go with this. I think Netherlands will end at the top of the group. And now between Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia, it's going to be pretty tricky to predict who will end where. But I think Japan, with some recent success in 2018 and 2022, where they did well in the group phase, they made it to the round of 16. I think they're going to end in second position. And then between Sweden and Tunisia, yeah, it may seem like I'm not giving Tunisia enough, but I just don't see Tunisia ending higher than fourth. I'm sorry. I think Sweden will end in third, and Tunisia will be the bottom team. Group G. Group G is a bit interesting. I'm hoping Iran is in the World Cup because they made it. I think they are as of now. I mean, you never know what happens. But based on this group, I mean, Belgium, they may seem overrated, but I just think they're too talented enough not to end at the top of the group. Now, the second position is going to be tricky. It's between Egypt and Iran for me. Yeah, but I think at the end, Iran will end second, and Egypt will end third, and New Zealand is fourth. I'm sorry, New Zealand, they may have a decent team, but I just don't see them ending higher than fourth in their group. Now, Group H, the top position probably will be between Spain and Uruguay, but I think Spain will take it because they just seem too talented and they won the most recent Euros, so I don't see why they don't top this group. Uruguay will probably come in second. And now the third place could be a pretty interesting battle between Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde. I don't know actually who would end higher. I think just because of previous World Cup experience, Saudi Arabia will end in third, and Cape Verde will be at the bottom of the group. It's kind of hard to predict, obviously. Now to Group I, probably the toughest group of the initial group phase. Uh, who will end on the top of the group? France, probably. I mean, they're the most talented, and I think that they will do well in the World Cup. They've made it to back-to-back World Cup finals, won one, lost one. So I don't see why they don't end at the top. Maybe there might be internal issues. I don't know. But I think France will brush them aside and at least top the group. Now in second position, this is going to be interesting here between Senegal and Norway. Norway do have Erling Haaland, one of the best strikers. They got Odegaard as well, good midfielder. But Senegal, they have a more balanced team to me. And I mean, they were African champions until after investigation, they gave it to Morocco. But Senegal, I think they have more balance and cohesion, sorry, compared to Norway. So I think they're going to be the runners up in this group. Norway will be third, and Iraq, I mean, congrats for making the World Cup. But in this tough group, I don't see them ending higher than fourth. Now, Group J. Well, Group J is actually kind of interesting. I think Argentina, they're not going to be hit with the Champions curse. I think they'll just end at the top of this group. Yeah, they seem to be the most talented by far, and I don't see anyone truly challenging them. They did lose to Saudi Arabia in the opening game of the previous World Cup, so cannot say for certain, but they still topped the group because they beat Mexico and Poland. So I don't see why they don't top the group again, even if they suffer a shock result where they don't win, maybe against Jordan or Austria. Yeah, by the way, if you've noticed, I'm not predicting any of the actual games. I'm just predicting where the teams will end after all three games are played by every team in the groups. So Argentina will end at the top, and then now this is going to be interesting here. Who will end in second? Algeria, Austria, or potentially even Jordan. I don't think Jordan will end in the top two, but I do think that Algeria will end in second over Austria, and Austria will end third, and Jordan will end fourth. Now, Group K. Well, Portugal, they are the most talented team on paper, and Ronaldo is still playing, which is great, and so is Messi for Argentina. Uh, yeah, Portugal, I think the real competition for the top of the group will be Colombia, but I don't see Colombia to top the group over Portugal. I think Portugal will end in number one. And Colombia, I think they're too talented to not end below second, so they're gonna be in second position. Now the third and fourth position will be interesting here between DR Congo and Uzbekistan. I don't know who would end higher. Yeah, DR Congo made it through the intercontinental playoffs, whereas Uzbekistan they made it through the Asian playoffs. They were good. Well, this is tough to predict, but I just think at the end that DR Congo will edge over Uzbekistan and then in third, and Uzbekistan will be at the bottom of the group. Now, Group L, yeah, it's an interesting group. England and Croatia in the same group. Quite interesting. Now, Croatia, their core is older, but I just think that experience may actually help them, and they will end first in the group. Yes, England will not end at the top of this group. They will end in second. And between Ghana and Panama, I think Ghana will end in third and Panama will end at the bottom of the group. So, those are my 12 group predictions. Now to see who will end in third, well, out of the 12 teams. So, to pick the best 8 third place teams, well, apparently I can't choose Ghana, which is kind of disappointing. So that means I'm just going to say that Ghana will not be in the top 32 at the end. But who I do think will come in, I think Norway shall make it to the round of 38. Another team that should make it to me will be Scotland. I think Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast will make it too. Uh, Australia, I think they'll make it. Next team will be Egypt. I think Egypt will make it over others because they have New Zealand. I think they'll beat them. Now, the next three teams, they're going to be pretty tricky to predict. I think at the end of the day, I believe that DR Congo will make it, and so will Bosnia and Sweden. Actually, no. Sorry. I don't think Sweden will make it. That's why I didn't select them. I think instead it will be Austria. Yes. So now let's look at the quarter or the round of 32, sorry. So, who is the first opponent? Ecuador versus Scotland. This is actually a pretty interesting game. but I think Ecuador will win over Scotland. The next game between France and Australia. Interesting. This was a game that happened in the previous World Cup. Uh, yeah, I think France will win it. So interesting to see Mexico versus Canada. So two co-hosts playing against each other. Yeah, this is actually quite interesting. But I think at the end, I think Mexico will go over Canada. Netherlands versus Morocco. Wow, this is gonna be the toughest round of 32 matchup to me. Well, so far. Hmm. This is actually pretty tough to predict because both teams are good, but I think that Netherlands are gonna advance. Now, now the next opponent, Colombia versus England. Wow, even this is a tough group, a tough matchup. Hmm. Well, Colombia versus England. What a matchup this is. I think at the end though, it's gonna be England who will beat Colombia. And then Spain versus Algeria. Yeah, I think Spain will win it. USA versus Bosnia. This is gonna be interesting, but I'm gonna pick USA to win over Bosnia. Belgium versus Norway. This is an interesting matchup. Now, this is where I'm gonna choose against the odds. Yeah, I'm just picking based on who thinking is gonna win anyway. But according to the odds, they said Belgium is favored to win over Norway. Well, guess what? I'm gonna pick Norway to win over Belgium. Brazil versus Japan. This is a tough game as well. Mm, but I just think Brazil will win over Japan because it's not a European opponent. Sorry. Germany versus Senegal. Wow, this is another interesting game. Hmm. This is actually very tough to predict. Who will win between Germany and Senegal? I think at the end of the day, Germany and their talent will prevail over Senegal. South Korea versus Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. Wow, what a matchup this is too. I can't believe that this actually was a round of 32 matchup. Yeah, this is quite equivalent, isn't it? An equivalent matchup. Two teams who are good. Well, I did say South Korea will top their group. And because they topped their group, according to me in my prediction, I think that South Korea will beat Ivory Coast. Now, Croatia versus DR Congo. Well, I think I'm just going to pick Croatia. The experience is too valuable to ignore. Argentina versus Uruguay. This is an interesting round of 632 matchup, but I think Argentina will win over Uruguay. Turkey versus Iran. This is another interesting matchup, but I think Turkey will take it. Switzerland versus Egypt. I think Switzerland will win over Egypt. Portugal versus Austria. I think Portugal got it. So now we're into the round of 16. Ecuador versus France. This is where I believe Ecuador's journey will come to an end and France will win. Mexico versus Netherlands. Yeah, this is a good round of 16 matchup, but I think Mexico's campaign will come to an end and Netherlands will advance to the quarterfinals. Next match, England versus Spain. What a banger of a round of 16 matchup. Yeah, but unfortunately only one team can win, and I think the team that will win will be Spain. Sorry, England, it ain't coming home again this time as well. USA versus Norway. Quite an interesting matchup, this one. I did pick Norway to win over over the other team. Who I literally forgot who they were playing against. Belgium, sorry. Yeah, I picked Norway to win over Belgium. But I think Norway, they're not going to upset USA. Solely because this is where, again, I said, could be a bit biased. I think USA are going to win their round of 16 matchup versus Norway. Next game, Brazil versus Germany. What a matchup. Oh my gosh, this is too funny to see. Sorry, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be making jokes. Brazil versus Germany. 2014 semifinal repeat, or will Brazil avenge their defeat? I'm sorry, I don't think Brazil will avenge their defeat. I think Germany will win and continue the trend where a European opponent will knock out Brazil in the World Cup. So I think Germany will win over Brazil. South Korea versus Croatia. This is an interesting match, but I think Croatia's experience once again is going to propel them over South Korea. So Croatia will advance to the quarterfinal. Argentina versus Turkey. Uh, yeah, I don't think Turkey will stand much of a chance over Argentina. Maybe they might, but I just think Argentina will edge ahead of Turkey. And the last round of 16 matchup, Switzerland versus Portugal. Wow, this is going to be an interesting match, but I think at the end Portugal are going to win over Switzerland, just like 2022. Now here are the quarterfinals. France versus Netherlands. What a quarterfinals. Wow, what a quarterfinals matchup. Now, France may be favored. However, I think that the Netherlands are going to get past France in the quarterfinals. Yes, I think Netherlands will win. USA versus Spain. Now, this will really hurt me. It will hurt me a lot because I want USA to win the World Cup. But I think their journey will come to an end. I mean, realistically, it might come to an end before the quarterfinals, but if they really do make the quarterfinals, I'll be happy. If they can prove me wrong and even win their quarterfinal matchups, that'll be fantastic. But to my prediction, it hurts me to do this, but I think USA's campaign will come to an end and it will be Spain to advance to the semis. Now, in the next bracket, Germany versus Croatia. Wow, what a match. Oh man, I don't know who is going to win. Wow, this quarterfinal is going to be very difficult to predict. Germany may have more talent, but Croatia has more heart. But I think that it's going to be over for Germany. Or is it? No. I think it's going to be over for Croatia. And Germany will advance to the semifinals. And then the final quarterfinals, Argentina versus Portugal, Messi versus Ronaldo. Wow. If this actually happens at any point in this World Cup, that'll be fantastic. Oh my word. This is going to be a really difficult matchup, but oh, this is really going to be more of a sentimental pick than an actual pick here. Because Argentina won the World Cup last time and Portugal haven't with Ronaldo, I genuinely think that Portugal are going to win this over Argentina. Yes, I'm sorry. I think Portugal are going to beat Argentina in the quarterfinal and advance to the semifinal. So we're going to have an all-European semifinals and final. So the first semifinal is Netherlands versus Spain. Well, this is going to be an interesting pick here. But I think Spain may be the favorites over Netherlands. But at the end, I'm going to pick the Netherlands to beat Spain and advance to the World Cup final over Spain. And then the other semifinal, it's between Germany and Portugal. This is also a really good game. Germany, they've had a great run, but I'm sorry, I think is going to come to an end in the semifinal. So the World Cup final, according to me, will be against Netherlands and Portugal. Yes. Well, apparently I can't choose a third place playoff match. So, in this website. Well, just so you know, I think the third place match will be between Spain and Germany, and the team that will win the third place match will be Spain. Spain will get the bronze medal in this FIFA World Cup. Now, the FIFA World Cup final. Who is going to win it? Netherlands or Portugal, according to my bracket. And at the end, as much as I would love to see a fairy tale ending for Cristiano Ronaldo, I am so sorry, Portugal, but I think it's going to be Virgil van Dijk and the Netherlands to win FIFA World Cup 2026. Yes, I predict that the Netherlands are going to win FIFA World Cup 2026. So that's it. Those are my FIFA World Cup 2026 predictions. At the end of the day, please just note that this is for fun. Do not take this very seriously. Of course, you can criticize my predictions. I'm not the biggest football fan or soccer fan because I'm in the US, and I may have shown quite a bit of bias towards USMNT to make it all the way to the quarterfinals, but they will lose to Spain in the quarterfinals according to my predictions. So, wow, this took a long time to record and make the bracket. So, if you've watched all the way till the end, thank you so much for watching till here. If you did like this video, please do like the video. Subscribe to the channel for a follow-up video, which will be next month. Once the FIFA World Cup is over, I will revisit these predictions and see how far away I was. Yeah. So just because I predicted Netherlands to be the champion, that doesn't mean that they're gonna win it. No, I am no pundit. No, I'm not. I'm just a casual viewer. So, yes. You can just ignore my picks altogether. That's why I said a disclaimer at the start of this video, and I'm gonna say disclaimer again. This is just for fun. Some of the picks may be biased. Please do not take offense to it. If you want to criticize them, please do, but do not just call me bad names. That's it. Yeah, I'm sorry. But thank you for watching till here. Have a great day, everyone, and until the next video, bye.